Hello everyone, and welcome to another installment of Erinn's Book Club. I finally have my next book finished, and to plead my case a little bit, it's a bigger book, so it took me a little bit longer to write or to read, but it is one that I was a little bit surprised about. This is one that was written by Stephen King, who I absolutely adore, but it was also co-authored by Owen King, which is one of Stephen King's sons. And I had picked it up brand new and was excited to start it. And then as it sat there in my bookshelf, I got a little more and more worried because I'm like, what if I don't like it? And like Stephen King is like my go-to guy. Like anything Stephen King I pick up, even if, like without even thinking, I pick it up. So I was a little worried. And the concept was a little bit interesting. But anyway, the book review that I'm going to do today is called Sleeping Beauty by Stephen King and Owen King. And I'm going to read the back of it to you first just to give you a better example or understanding of what we were dealing with here. So in a future so real and near it might be now, a mysterious pandemic is causing women everywhere to suddenly go to sleep. Shrouded in a cocoon-like gauze, any attempt to awaken them is met with a reaction of feral spectacular violence. And while they sleep, the women go to another place, a better place, where harmony prevails and conflict is rare. But there is only one, the enigmatic Eve Black, who is immune to the blessing or curse of the sleeping disease. Is Eve a medical anomaly that should be studied, or a demon that must be slain? Meanwhile, the men, abandoned and left to their increasingly primal urges, are divided into warring factions, some of which want to kill Eve and some of which want to save her, even as others rise up and exploit the chaos to wreak their own vengeance on the new enemies in this brutal, suddenly all-male world. So I was a little worried too by reading the back of this because I thought, oh dear, this is going to be... Hang on, my kitten's getting a little bit... Sorry, this is my new little Willow, and isn't she cute? She kind of gets attacked by my other cat, so I just got to kind of watch her. But anyway... So I was a little bit worried when I first started reading the book and reading the back, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a book written by two men about women. So it's going to be biased, women's going to be made as a weak character, and Stephen King's involved, so women's going to be made as a weak, sympathetic character, and then he's going to kill them off because that's what Stephen King does. And I was actually wrong and pleasantly surprised. The characters that were written were both weak and strong, were both incredibly evil and incredibly good and selfless, and were both male and female. So both sexes had the same traits. There was ugliness that we see in the world that was portrayed in the book. There was different perspectives of women too, and their different outlooks in life, and it seemed like a refreshing outlook and a man's point of view of what a woman is thinking when she's, say, in an abusive situation, or when she's downright insane, how a man would think of that. I thought that was fascinating. All the characters were incredibly deep and incredibly well written. The evil characters, the characters that you just wanted to kill, again, were understandable. You could almost understand their psyche as he's written about them. Just an all in all really well written book, and it kept me captivated throughout the entire read. The end of it got to be a little bit trailing, got to be a little bit like the ending credits of a movie. I didn't like the ending that much. I didn't want to know quite as much detail about everybody. There was a melancholy to the ending, and again, I don't do spoiler review books or spoiler-free reviews, so you guys are going to get spoiled, so you've been warned. The marriage ending in the end the way it did, the no guy gets the girl the way it does, because maybe the girls don't want to be got by the guys. Like, just the concept was something different, and it wasn't at all what I expected. It was one of those rare books that just keeps you going and you really enjoy. And it was worth getting way behind in my Goodreads reads schedule to get this book read. So all of you guys that are Stephen King fans, this is one that you guys need to pick up, and I think you'd really enjoy it. I haven't read any of Owen Kane's books, so I don't know how he is, but I really enjoyed this book written by both of them. Plus the cover, I don't know if you guys can see the cover. The cover is just phenomenal. And that's a whole other concept too, the cocoons and the nature of it, the fact that nature has something to do with it, just the concept also of having a higher power or entity that is female, that is like the translator but doesn't have any say in it. Like, it just, you guys have got to read the book. It's too complicated to go through all of it now, but it's something that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I think you guys would too. So thank you for listening, and I will let you know when I have another book read. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.